What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Who Else _22, along with
Christian Begita.
and we here just to just to talk about the upcoming Joker movie that's coming out next month. I think the date is October
4th.
October 4th. Personally, I'm actually excited to see this new film. I'm kind of sad that DC Films isn't tying it into their current Justice League universe, but just with a lot of things, Suits always manage to screw up a lot. What do you think about it, Christian?
When I first heard about this movie, a New Joker movie, what are they really going to do? I started reading more into it, and they're like, yeah, this is not gonna be connected to anything. At first, I was like, what the internet is today. They're like, why is it not connected? Now, fast forward a year later, and I have changed my mind on this. It is good to have standalone movies, and let me tell you why. Because you don't have to tie it into anything, and you can tell your story. And another thing that I was thinking about recently was, you go back to the comics. Does every comic book ties into every comic book?
No, you're right about that. That's very true. And you know what? You actually do make a valid point. The only reason I mentioned that I would like for it to be tied in, because I feel like the Jared Leto Joker was a complete train wreck, and I was ready to see this massive universe be compared to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it just didn't happen. I mean, I've watched Suicide Squad a couple times. It had a couple good actors. I didn't really like Will Smith as Deadshot, but I did like the woman who played Amanda Waller. I liked the Katana actress. So there was a lot of. I liked Harley Quinn, obviously. It's just that Joker. If we could just switch roles, but I get it. It's like a introduction to the Joker. Because if you guys notice, there is a young Bruce Wayne in one of the trailers. So obviously he's much older than Bruce Wayne in this movie. Director said he wanted to mainly focus on Joker. He didn't want to really bring Batman too much into the fold to have people distracted. And from what I'm hearing, Christian, you've told me that this movie already won an award. So I mean, I don't really trust the critics too much, because if I went by the critics, I would have never saw Batman vs Superman. And I mean, they pummeled that movie, and I actually loved that movie, and it made Ben Affleck my second favorite Batman. It's a toss-up between him and Michael Keaton. I mean, that Batman and Batman vs Superman was awesome, and like I said, the critics bashed it. But then when they had the extended cut of that movie released, all of a sudden the critics said it was a good movie. It's like, I can't really trust them. So I'm gonna still see the movie for myself, because I'm a comic book nerd. I love comic book movies and comic books, so I'm not gonna not see the movie because of them. The only movie I will tell you that I did not see, and I knew it was gonna be a train wreck, was the last X-Men movie. I knew that was gonna be trash. The movie didn't make back the money that the budget basically for the movie. I think it was like 100 or 150 million. The movie made nowhere close to that. So that movie was a train wreck.
A 5-year-old would have known that. But for some reason, they did not expect this. But that's another video with that movie.
Yeah.
But back into Joker. I know where you're coming from. The critics and all this stuff. Another point that I would like to talk about with that movie is, we've been in this comic book ride when this movie is for 10 years now?
No, I would say longer than that, because remember, you had Blade that came out, you had the original Spider-Man, you had the original X-Men that came out in 2000, so...
That's when they tried to get stuff going.
Yeah.
It didn't fully get going, but it gave us something. But then consistently, about 10, 12 years, we've seen superhero movies since the year 2000.
Yeah.
So we're 19, 20 years into this. But what I think Joker can give us is another genre of superhero movies that can be taken seriously and will be more appealing to a more mature audience, and an audience that doesn't have time to keep up with all these movies. So basically, you can bring more fans in a way.
Absolutely, yes.
More grown. Hopefully they're not confused and they think that this connects to something else.
Yeah.
But I just think that it just grows this genre, and just bring new fans to the table. They're calling this Black Label.
Yeah. DC Black Label. Yeah, I heard
Right.
that.
It's kind of catchy.
I mean, honestly, I love this depiction of Joker that the society is what actually created Joker. Because like if you watch both trailers, I only watched 2. It just looks like a man that's been beaten and broken down by society over and over again until he snapped. And that's what I actually love about it, and that's what makes me want to see the film, is to show you the result of what society has brought up on a person by either disregarding them or just bullying them, and then that person turning it back on everybody. So I'm thrilled to see it. I mean, I know it's gonna be a hard R probably. I'm hoping, I should say. I'm hoping it's going to be a hard R, a lot of violence, but I'm still ready to see a good time.
And another thing that this movie might bring out is how mental issues not really taken seriously.
Agreed.
And what I saw in the trailer is it was that message there that he feels like he's mentally sick, and nobody's
listening.
Nobody's listening, and now you're gonna see what happens when you don't treat this.
That's right. I agree with that, and that's why I said that's what drawed me into. Now I don't think I do have any mental issues or any capacity to be mentally unstable. But me watching the trailers, it was like, wow, I never, like he said to his therapist, every week I come in here and you say the same thing to me over and over again. It's like you're not listening. So it makes me have to reevaluate if I talk to somebody that maybe has mental issues. It makes me have to reevaluate, okay, Colin, you have to try to put yourself in their shoes and try to understand where they're coming from. Where before, maybe I wouldn't do that. So something as simple as a movie would make me stop and think, okay, Colin, maybe you don't want to approach it like this. Maybe approach it in another way, whatever that situation may be. So the writing seems like it's already going to be phenomenal, and I'm hoping that it will be. So yeah, they'll definitely have my money come October 4th.
Yeah, they're talking about that this movie might make more money opening weekend than Venom did, and that was like in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
So they're looking at between 70 to 100 million opening weekend, which it will be massive for this movie. Now, do I see it making $1 billion? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, because a lot of countries, I think China has a restriction with R-rated movies. Like they still haven't released Deadpool. It's one of those Asian countries. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I want to believe it's China because I think it's China who still hasn't released any Deadpool movies over there because of the R rating. So yeah, it would definitely lose money in a big country like China. It would definitely lose a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that the project won't be great, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a trilogy. I'm hoping for more movies with this Joker character because I want to see where the director and where the writers take it. I don't want it to be a one-off. I know a lot of people saying it might be a one-off. I personally wouldn't mind seeing them take it to where maybe in the third or fourth or fifth film, you finally see Batman step onto the scene while there's maybe an aging Joker or whatever, however they tie it in. I would love to see something like that.
Here's what I see where they're running into a wall in this movie. I know that I'm gonna come out of this movie theater and be like, I want more of that. But I'm also going to understand why there won't be more of that. Now, is it really gonna be just one movie? The numbers will let us know
Absolutely.
later. Because there's no way they're gonna sit on that and say, well, we made a great movie, we don't want more money. They're gonna run this until there's no more money. But I don't know how they're gonna be able to tie in Batman at some point with this. They asked the director a couple of days ago if Robert Pattinson's Batman was connected, and he laughed and he's like, no way, this is one time. And you have a very young Bruce Wayne in a very old, I would say, 40-year-old Joker.
That's what's confusing to me. That's exactly what confused me.
How is he going to live long enough? And if this one was gonna set up the Joker as, the real Joker, and he's gonna be a thief or whatever, crazy guy, a mob guy, whatever route they take, so he's gonna be a mobster for 20 years, and he's gonna get to his 60s.
That's why I said that's why I made the comment about being an aging Joker, because You saw it. Maybe the Joker. Maybe I'm sorry. Maybe Bruce Wayne was probably 8 years old. I'm not sure how old that actor is that plays a young Bruce Wayne, but he looks like he's probably 8. And if we're looking at the Joker now, he looks like he's in his 40s. So, I mean, when Bruce Wayne finally picks up the mantle, the Joker will be a senior citizen by then. So it's like,
unless they have one way out of this, is if you see the movie, you see how the Joker is getting his followers. You see many people wearing the mask. Is that a message to say
maybe the real Joker isn't in the film yet? Maybe.
Right. This is just the guy that sets it up, and eventually the real Joker comes out and then joins one of the universes, whether it's Robert Pattinson, the DCEU. I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you. That's actually a great point, and I didn't mean to cut you off making your point. That's actually a great point because they did that in Gotham, where if you guys watch, I think it was season 4 or season 3, where there was someone named Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And we all thought that was the original Joker, but then we found out that he actually had a twin. This is a spoiler, but then we found out he actually had a twin brother, and his twin brother was the one who actually turned out to be the Joker. So I mean, it's definitely possible where somebody like Jeremiah was acting all wild and crazy, and then someone else took up the mantle and just ran with it. So it's you do have a point. I can't say you're wrong on that one.
But you see, that what happened in Gotham is what I see happening in this movie, because I like the Jeremiah Joker.
Oh, I love that Joker.
Not his brother.
No, yeah. He was more calm, but he's still. I think the last season he started to pick up. He wasn't as wild as Jeremiah, but
right. What I wanted to see was Jeremiah and his voice and his acting, and then actually complete the character that they did.
Absolutely.
So are they gonna run into the same thing with this movie, where we fell in love with this Joker, and now you're gonna give us a different Joker?
Yeah, I hope not.
I cannot prefer just leave it as one movie and don't give me anything else,
I
and replace Jared Leto.
I mean, look, they say that multiverse is out there. I mean, if you watching any of the CW shows, multiverse is definitely a thing. Even in Marvel Cinematic Universe, they mentioned multiverse was a thing in Endgame. So I'm not in Endgame. I'm sorry, in Spider-Man. So you never know. Maybe the suits will say, let's use multiverse to our advantage with a upcoming Flash movie, and then they just rewrite those movies that happened in the past, like Suicide Squad, that didn't do so well. So I mean, anything is possible.
I can't wait for this movie. Let's see what they give us. I hope this is the beginning of something good for the DCEU, because it just hasn't picked up the way that I thought it would.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. And even sitting on a movie like Aquaman, what made over $1 billion, we still don't have a release date for Aquaman 2. It's like you said, you hope this is the beginning of something good. They've already have a couple good movies. I hope they don't wait too long to where people start having memory loss and say, oh, you guys still making those movies? Because it's like Marvel's just hammering out over and over and over, and I want DC to do the same thing. I don't want DC to go away. That would be very whack, very corny if only one studio was dominating while the other studio is floundering. I don't like my comic books like that. I want everybody to succeed.
I think that's what Warner Brothers want. They want people to forget about the DCEU, because they want like a fresh restart. I mean, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
pushed it.
That's true.
We haven't seen anything this season since when? What was it, December?
Yeah.
When we got Aquaman?
No. Shazam.
Oh yeah. We got Shazam, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing until October, but it's not part of the same.
It's not part of the same universe. Yeah,
so
right.
We're not really getting anything of the same universe until next year.
Yeah.
So maybe that's really what they want silently, and maybe they're giving Henry Cavill some time to do his stuff too.
I would just rather them use the Flash and use Flashpoint to change up events, so then they can actually restart it instead of just waiting for us to forget. Because then it's gonna be like, I don't know if you're gonna have that same loyalty from the fan base. I mean, you never know. Maybe the casuals will give you their money, but I don't think the comic book nerds and geeks like us will always support something if they're not consistent. That's how I feel.
I totally agree. So let us know what you think in the comments.
Absolutely, guys. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, tell us what you think about this movie coming up, and the other topics that we touched on.